Is the US currently in a recession? Well, things feel kind of topsy-turvy right now between tariffs and the stock market and tariffs and the bond market and prices. But a recession is actually something that we can only determine after the fact, and that's done by the National Bureau of Economic Research. They sit down and they decide, has a recession happened? Has it already happened? Well, economist Claudia Sahm, pictured here, she a number of years ago came up with what is known as the Sahm rule. And even though it wasn't really designed to do this, it has been used since to kind of predict in real time whether we are in a recession, or at least whether the United States is in a recession. And in the latest Bamboo Weekly, I asked you to calculate the numbers that we need for the Sahm rule and thus understand, are we in a recession or not? So the first question that I asked was, I wanted you to download unemployment data from Fred. Fred is a really great resource done by the St. Louis Fed. We can go to fred.stlouisfed.org, and you can get lots and lots of data from there. And indeed, I can get the UN rate, that's the unemployment rate data, and I can go there, search it, we'll get it, and then I can download it in a whole bunch of different ways. I can get it in CSV, I can get it in Excel, I can get an image, all sorts of different things. But I asked you not to do that. I asked you instead to use the Fred API module for Python from PyPI and download it directly from there. Now, I've already installed Fred API here, so let's say I want to download it. What do? Well, I say here from Fred API import Fred, and then I say Fred equals Fred of API key equals O. I need to have an API key. Now, it's not unusual for a commercial site that provides information via an API to have an API key. It's a little less usual, but like totally okay for somewhere like Fred to do it. So I go here to the Fred site and I've already logged in. I have a login here and I want to get a new API key and I say Bamboo Weekly stuff. All right, and I agree to their thing and I say request API key and it gives me a 32 character hex code. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go here and I'm going to say here, I'm just going to stick it in here directly. Is this a good way to do things? No, this is a terrible, terrible way to do things. Because if you hard code an API key in your code, not only are you making it sort of fragile and brittle, you're also making it insecure. I mean, Fred, come on. But if you're using a commercial service and you put your API key directly like this in the code, one of these days, someone is going to put it on GitHub, someone is going to email it, it is going to get out. And so a much better way to do things is to stick it in a file or in an environment variable. That's what I've done here. So I'm going to say your Fred API key equals open of, and I know where it is. It's in users, Reuven.Fred API key. And I'm going to open that file. I'm going to read the whole thing. It's not that long. And I'm going to strip it to get rid of the new line. And then I can say my API key equals Fred API key. And people watching this video and people who see my code won't ever have to know my API key and be able to take advantage of it. And then I can say s equals Fred.get series of UN rate for the unemployment rate, exactly the same data as we saw before. So it's going to go, it's going to do its thing. And then if I now look at S, what do we have? Well, I ask you to answer a few questions about it. First of all, what kind of data does it return? It's a Pandas series. The Fred API module, when you say get series, what do you know? It returns a Pandas series. Fantastic. That series, like all series, has an index, and that index looks like dates and times. And the values then are the numbers. These are the percentage points of unemployment. We can even go here to the Fred page for that and see this is percent seasonally adjusted. This is the unemployment rate. Okay, fantastic. So we have that data. Where does it start and where does it end? Well, we can see here from the 1st of January 1948 to the 1st of March 2025. But I can also get another way. I can say df.info. Oh, not df, s. It's a series. And I'll say, oh, it's a series. It has a date-time index, meaning that the index consists of date-time values, not just strings. So we can do all sorts of wild stuff with the manipulation and stuff there. It goes from, indeed, 1948, January 1st, to 2025, March 1st. It has 927 values. And those are all floats. Great. Can I plot this? Of course I can plot this. I can say s.plot.line, and I get a really nice plot then showing the unemployment rate in the US since, well, the 1st of January 1948. And we can see the unemployment rate going up and down, which is normal business cycle sort of thing. And I asked you to point to any dates that stand out. Well, let's move backwards here. So, just a few years ago, as many of you will remember undoubtedly, the unemployment rate in the US skyrocketed at the beginning of 2020 when the COVID pandemic came out and sort of started to make its way across the US and the world. Before that, we have just after the Great Recession, which was a massive, massive hit to the world economy, and sure enough, lots of unemployment. Before that, we had the dot-com bust and all sorts of things, right? We had 1992 here, or I guess just before when Bill Clinton was elected. And before that, we'll ignore, but you can see there are lots of, well, actually, right here in 1980, we can see where Paul Volcker deliberately raised interest rates to crush inflation, but that led to a lot of unemployment. So we can really see a lot of history in this graph. Okay, that's great, but that's not what we're interested in doing. We want to do some calculations for the Sahm rule. I'm only going to be solving the first two of the 5 questions I posed in this week's Bamboo Weekly. By the end of the final question, you do get to a complete calculation of the Sahm rule. We're just going to start with the first part, which is the 3-month moving average for the national unemployment rate. Now, if I say here, s.mean, that's going to give me the mean value of all unemployment in the US for all time. That's not what I want. I want to get the mean unemployment for the most recent 3 months. And then before that, the 3 months before that, basically, I want to, you can imagine it this way. If I have my data here, let's just look at the data here, s.tail of 30. So you can imagine that I've got this on a piece of paper. You can imagine that I've got another piece of paper on top of it with a little cutout window. And that window has 3 lines in it. And so as I slide that window, I'm going to get 3 lines, then the previous 3 lines, the previous 3 lines. And I want to get the mean for 3 lines at a time. In order to do this, we use what's known as a window function. And this is in particular a rolling window. So I'm going to say s.rolling. And I'm going to say then window equals 3, meaning I want to have 3 elements calculated in each function call. I'm going to call the mean. And what I get then is this result. I'm just going to look at the tail 30 here. And what you can see is then the final 30 elements in the result. The index matches our S exactly. And the values then represent the 3 months. So this is here, March 1st. This represents the 3 most recent months. So the March 1st, February 1st, January 1st mean of those unemployment numbers. Fantastic. By the way, what happens at the top of that if I don't do tail, but rather I say head? What do we get at the top? And the answer is we get 2 nans, because this is the third, like this here we can finally look backwards to and get some values. But the first one cannot look backwards, and the second one cannot look backwards. But starting the third, we can. This is great except for one little problem, which is it's wrong. And the reason it's wrong is we actually, in order to calculate the Sahm rule, we need to not look, if we're in March 1st, we don't want March, February, January. We want the 3 previous months. So the March 1st number should be February, January, December. Well, how am I going to do that? Right? I can calculate the mean here. What I can do is I can run shift 1. And what that does then is it shifts the index back by 1. So now, right, we're going to get things back. So here, I'm going to just do this without shift. Let's do it twice. Without shift, and then we'll do it with shift. Whoops, don't do that. And so what we get is, look at this, right? The March 1st number, 4.06, matches the February 1st number here. We've gotten rid of this most recent number altogether. We've moved it by 1, and you can, of course, shift by more if you want. We can use this to build up a complete calculation of the Sahm rule. And as I mentioned, that's what I do in the rest of the questions and solutions to the latest Bamboo Weekly. So can we use Pandas to find out if we are currently in a recession? Assuming the Sahm rule does that, and there's some debate over whether it does, but it's pretty commonly used as a good metric for that. The answer is yes, we can find out. We don't have to wait a number of months for the NBER to come out with this pronouncement. If you like this, take a look at Bamboo Weekly. I've got these sorts of questions every single week. Don't forget to comment, tell me what you think, like, subscribe, and come back. I'll be back real soon with lots more about Python and Pandas and everything in between. Thanks so much for watching.